to another episode of the Water from the Rock podcast, brought to you as always by the Calvary Baptist Church. I'm Pastor Tyler Robbins, and with me as always is my brother Dustin Robbins.
Hey everybody, so good to be back, so good to be talking with you. I hope you're having a great day wherever you're at.
Yeah, me too. I paused there for a second because I always do the same intro for the broadcast that goes over our radio stations on the Sunday service, and it always starts off with, good morning and welcome to the Water from the Rock broadcast, brought to you as always by the Calvary Baptist Church. Calvary Baptist Church located at 703 Milwaukee Street right here in Charles City. So it just, how it goes, and got a little sidetracked there for a second, and
Well, you're only human.
yeah. Hey, so it's been quite the busy week here.
Yeah.
Dustin, you've been gone this week. What have you been up
Yes,
to?
I went on vacation, was able to actually reset my batteries for the first time in a long time.
Oh, that's exciting.
We went down to Missouri and just hung out with some relatives, some in-laws, and just was able to refresh and recoup. So drove back late last night, got in late last night. The road construction, I tell you what, like almost all the way from the Missouri border to almost like maybe 15 minutes away from Waterloo Cedar Falls is just one lane.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it's
believe that.
bad.
We're
But
in the season of road construction, so
exactly, I mean, you know what? The roads were bad, and if I kind of wish I was like the TV show Star Trek. I kind of wish I had the teleporter. Meet me over there, Scotty.
Mhm.
You know.
Sure.
But other than that, I enjoyed the trip. I really did. I just didn't enjoy the drive.
When you were down there, Dustin, on the way back, did you guys come up like 380 chasing the Mississippi River, or what did you do?
I think we went up 72. I think it was.
Hmm.
I basically just punched in the GPS and just followed the directions.
Gotcha. I didn't know if you came up through Illinois. I was going to ask if you stopped and saw the Piasaw bird or not.
No, I did not. I did not.
Yeah, last time we were there, I don't think I took my kids to see it, so I want to one of these days get down there and
I would
show it
love
to
to
them.
do that.
Oh yeah, I think it's awesome.
The stopping
Yeah.
grounds down there.
Exactly, all over southern Illinois, southern Missouri, and yeah, it's exciting.
Yep.
So
So
it sounds like you've had a busy week. That's great.
yeah. So I saw something awesome
What's
on
that?
the front of the building when I walked in this morning.
Yeah, we
When did
put
that
the
happen?
yesterday, I think. We had it painted earlier this week.
Well, hang on. For those that are listening, tell them what it is.
Yeah, it's our sign. We got a sign made a couple weeks ago. We got it cut out of solid steel,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all one piece.
It
Well,
looks awesome.
unfortunately, there's a couple spots where it's anchored together by just one point, and so it took 3 or 4 people to carry it so it doesn't bend out of place, And
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, we put up the sign. We got it painted on. Excuse me. We got it painted on Tuesday, and then we got it hung up Thursday, and we went ahead and touched it up after it got on the building because we had to drill holes, and we wanted to paint the screws so they blend in,
Mm-hmm.
and
Absolutely.
yeah, it turned out really, really well. I'm really excited, and I really appreciate everyone's hard work and efforts that's gone into that. We had people who had to go pick it up, and we had people who helped design it. We had other people who painted it, and then the fellows that hung it up. I just appreciated all the hard work. So
Well, yeah, I think it looks awesome. So I didn't see no scuff marks, but at the same time, I wasn't looking with a magnifying glass. So
oh, definitely. I 100% agree. And I really think it looks just awesome. I think it is something that's really necessary for the front of the building, and I think it turned out very well.
yeah, I love it. I really do. So, and worst case scenario, if we get a big windstorm or something like that and it gets damaged, we at least we know.
Oh, it's like 12 or 14 screws holding it up there. It
Oh,
ain't
okay,
coming
then we're
down.
good. We're
Yeah,
good.
we any point that it could wobble or wiggle,
Yeah.
and every one of the large letters,
Uh-huh.
all of them have been properly anchored in. So
Okay, well that's
yeah.
good then. That's good. I know the last set, it looked like it looked like that they screwed it in and then it came out and then they re-glued it and re-screwed it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a mess.
Yeah, I gotta fix that yet, and
That's all right. So
yeah, I gotta get there with the gasket scraper and scrape off that silicone, and then touch up the paint. And
other than that, the front looks brand new.
yeah, it looks really good. There's been
Yeah,
a lot
it
of work
does.
that's gone into it this year, and
Exactly.
got some things I want to do next year yet. Still, I want to put up a flagpole, and we'll see. I'm hemming and hawing on that. That's why it ain't done yet.
I understand that. Well, speaking of the year, what's the plan for going into the fall of the season?
Yeah, it's a great question, Dustin. As most people who are listening to this podcast probably already know, we have a school that we do here at our church, and it's our
Yeah.
Christian school.
How's that going to work out this year?
It's been going on since we got here, so this will be its 22nd year.
I keep forgetting how long it's been.
Yeah, it's 22nd year. We've been here, and we just entered that this week. And it's also the 22nd year that we've had the school going.
Mhm.
And now that I'm pastor, I've got to run the school, and so I had to rewrite the entire handbook. And the previous handbook was 12 pages long, but it was written in 6-point font.
Uh-oh.
And so I went through and I rewrote it all in legible font. I put it in bookbinding form. So we'll be able to have a booklet that will pass out on day one. And
Do I
pretty much,
how many pages are in it?
I think 30.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well,
but
I mean, size 6 font, yeah. You probably
yeah,
want
it's
like 12 or
mostly
14.
it's mostly the same stuff. I updated a couple of things. We moved away from using ACE for our social studies
Mhm.
and for our Bible because
Yeah.
we're independent fundamental Baptist here, and I don't really have anything against ACE, and I don't really have anything against the way that they do things, but they do hold to some church fathers that we don't necessarily do, such as Origen and Clement. Those are people that we don't
Mhm.
necessarily hold to
I
in
remember
our
that.
faith.
I
So.
remember that when I did their social studies when I was younger.
hmm
So,
And they also teach that Constantine was a church father, and if you're a Catholic, he is. Constantine is considered one of the founding members of the
Mhm.
Catholic Church, at least I'm not really sure how they hold to him in the clerical sense in the Catholic doctrine, but I know that they hold to him as kind of a
Mhm.
savior of the church because he brought it into prominence, where they say Peter is their founding
Mhm.
first pope.
Mhm.
Constantine brought him out of the shadows.
Yeah.
And we hold to everything through John.
Absolutely. See, I don't mind learning a little bit about that because I enjoy history, especially about Constantine. You know, the big, I saw the cross on the shield and it ran through the water, that whole history thing. I don't mind learning about that, but not when it's supposed to be for a Bible subject. If it's history, okay, but.
Well, I don't even have a problem with it necessarily being about the Bible thing, but the thing is they're saying that they're church leaders
Mhm.
and that they're standard keepers, and they're not.
No, that's
That,
where I kind of.
exactly, and I don't have anything against people who believe that either. I just personally, that's not what we believe here. It's not our church standard. It's not our church
Yeah,
belief. So
we're
it's
just
hard
gonna
to
agree
use
to
that.
disagree.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to use materials that push that. And so we were able to find another curriculum that's written by a Baptist church in
Mhm.
Florida, and so we use them for our Bible and for a social studies class that we do called Baptist History, and that is something that we require in our school for all students to take because it teaches you the lineage of Baptist faith and why it is that. And it's something that is pretty doctrinally sound and pretty historically sound. It's something that I've studied a few times and I read the book a couple of times, and
Yeah.
I just really enjoy it. And
Mhm.
I had to update the school curriculum that's listed in our handbook for that. And then there are a couple of rules that have changed over time, namely the 2016-2017 handbook that I was using to copy from, which is our old handbook, to copy most of the stuff from. Um, it was the school times were still 8:30 to 3, and things have changed, and our days have changed a little bit. The way that we format our days are a little different, and so we just kind of updated some of those things, and
Mhm.
I have to put together a couple more sheets of paper. This is just a student handbook. I need to put together a teacher's handbook,
Well, that's
and
gonna be
then
fun.
yeah, no, it won't. And quickest way to make people mad at you is lay down rules. And then I need to start putting together information on what is required for um, the projects that we do in the school, the missions class and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
What are some of the projects that you're wanting to try to do this year?
this year I want
Get
to
them all
do,
going.
yeah, if I could hit all the spots I want to do a history fair
Ooh.
and a missions class. But I probably will not be able to do that. We're offering music class this year. We're offering what else we offering? We're offering an elective sign language class for our upper classmen, so that way they can take that for a credit.
Electric green.
Exactly. We do offer language studies through book work and through online work, but
Mhm.
we're going to offer a sign language course in person.
Oh, that's awesome.
And between those couple of things, the music class, the sign language
Mhm.
class, And then this year we have to do our standardized testing.
Oh
So
no.
that's going to take a week out of our schedule already. So just when you put everything together and the fact that the school requires us to have, I think, 148 days, or it's either 143 or 148 days in class,
Uh-huh.
realistically, we're going to be pretty short on time.
Oh
And so
boy.
it's going to take a little bit of work, a little bit of hustle, and a lot of diligence.
Do
And
they make you do the standardized every 5 years? Is that right?
it's legally you have to do it every 2 years,
Oh,
but
okay.
our school usually does it every year. I don't know when the last time our school did it was. I don't. I think it's been a year, or maybe I don't know. I think they did it 2 years ago.
I think it
So
was
this
yours.
will be this. It has to be done this year, according to state standard. And so we're gonna do that this year. And even if they did do it last year, I'd rather just stay above board and stay exemplary in everything that we do.
Yeah.
I personally try to strive for excellence in those kinds of things, and so it's just going to be something we're going to have to accomplish. And
It's going to be one fun, interesting year, it sounds like. Are you looking
well,
forward to it? Hopefully with no bumps in the road?
I am looking forward to it. I actually got a copy of the handbook here, and I'll read you my note. Hold on a second. So, my dad, when he wrote the handbook, he had a section called "The Philosophy of Christian Education" and what he
Mm-hmm.
felt about it. I read it and I pondered what he had to say, but I went ahead and amended it a little bit to be myself,
Mm-hmm.
written by myself rather. And it states that, I've pondered the Christian philosophy of education for many years. I do not pretend to know everything about education, but my desire is to know and understand the biblical stand that we should be taking.
Mm-hmm.
As an alumnus of our school, because I am an alumnus of our school,
Yep.
I take teaching and edification of others very seriously. The Bible is to be the pillar and ground of all truths, education included. The the power of education is it teaches you how to see and interpret the world around you. The power of the Bible, or excuse me, my gosh, you can't even read this out loud. I wrote it yesterday too. The power of biblical education is similar, but also allows for the understanding of not just core subjects, but God Himself and His Word to lead. Standard schooling works to edify and strengthen the individual's mind, whereas Christian schooling works to edify and strengthen not just the individual's mind, but the soul and the spirit. The goal of the school is the growth and preparation of our youth to be ready in all ways for life and the service of the Lord, specifically referencing Ephesians 6:4, to
Yeah.
bring them up in the nurture of the admonition of the Lord. We strive to understand and pursue excellence in character and academic education for the glory of God and to give an answer to all men, answering 1 Peter 3:15. But
Yes.
sanctify the Lord God in your hearts, and be ready to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear. And that's kind of all I had for my personal note that I wrote, and that was 2 pages of itself to give you an idea of how big the font is. I just wanted everyone to be able to read it this year. And I went ahead and spelled out plainly what credits are required and why we require what credits and what the state requirement is. Like, I'll give you an example. One of the things I had to update is we require our students to graduate to do a thesis and write a thesis on a doctrinal point. I know some people might hear that and go, well, that's kind of indoctrination. Well, you're right. We are a Christian school and we want you to understand what we believe and what you
Mhm.
believe and why you believe it. We want you to be firm on that.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, if you go to any colleges, they're going to make you write papers and things.
Exactly.
It's just giving you a little heads up on what's going to come.
Exactly.
Get you ready.
If you're gonna be going for like a doctorate or be a lawyer or something, they're gonna require you to write
Oh,
theses
yeah.
on what you believe or papers on that.
I can't even remember how many theses I had to write when I was in college. I had to write a 10,000 word thesis for just my graduating from
Oof.
one class.
That's awful.
Yeah, that was rough.
But we require that, and so I had to put that in the handbook. And then the state of Iowa 2 years ago came out with I think it's 2 years ago, they came out with a requirement that you have to have CPR training to be able to graduate.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so that's something that I also had to put in the handbook that the state of Iowa requires that.
Okay.
So pretty much everything's gonna stay the same as it did last year, except for like I said, a little bit of curriculum upgrades or updates. That's the same thing it was already. All these things I mentioned is things we already knew and I've already planned for. With the exception of I did put in the handbook that it is going to be required for the boys to wear shirt and tie, and I think that was already in the handbook. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But I did put in the handbook this year that I'm going to require all students to maintain a diligent attitude. And if you do so, I have an entire page written of just rewards that I want to be able to give out.
Ooh.
And I'm not talking about awards at the end of the year. I'm talking about specific liberties and
Privileges.
privileges. Yeah, there you go. Privileges of things that I want to be able to do for them, such as pizza party Fridays or maybe a movie afternoon. If the students are ahead on their goals and they're caught up on their tests and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I don't see the harm in letting them be able to watch a movie. Bring in a Christian movie, let them watch it, and pop
Yeah.
popcorn. Just have a good time together.
Yeah. Nothing too terrible.
No, absolutely not. We're not watching The Hills Have Eyes in here, and I just I want to be able to try to encourage them to do what's right and to be diligent. And so I understand that no matter how diligent you want to be,
Mhm.
there are always going to be distractions. There's always going to be difficulties, and so I want to give you incentive.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, for most young people, the incentive of personal edification and growth is not enough. They have to have a physical, a verbal, a mental incentive to move forward.
Yep.
And it can't always just be to avoid discipline. It has to be an actual incentive. So I put together a plan on what I want to do there and what I'm going to offer. And I have those detailed out. And I'm looking forward to going over this book with the students on day one. I'm going to give them all their own copy.
Mhm.
And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm very, very excited. I've never ran a school before,
Uh-huh.
but I've always had a strong passion for education.
Mhm.
And I just cannot wait. I'm super excited.
I think it's gonna be great. It sounds like you got it pretty much nailed down. You
Oh
got
no, we're still got a long way to go.
Are you guys gonna? I know last year you guys were doing a lot of field trips and everything. You're gonna try to do some more of that this year, or are you gonna basically as an award kind of thing?
Yes and no. It will be a part of the reward program. You have to qualify for your field trip.
Yeah, you don't want to. I only completed one subject for the entire year, and I'm going on after graduation program.
Well, there's always a student, no matter what school you go to, no matter what class you're in. You can go to public school, private school, you can go to, anything,
Yeah.
and you're gonna find a student that just drags their feet. It's just what happens. There's always a student that does, and so they need incentive to move forward. I know that my wife was
That was me.
working. I know my wife was working with one kid, and she said, "Hey, I know your mom doesn't get home from work till in the afternoon, and you'll be home by yourself for an hour or two. If you get your schoolwork done, I'll take you to the Y with my kids. We'll all go play together." That kid had his goals done by noon every day.
Wow.
So yeah, otherwise normally he didn't have anything done. He'd go home with maybe one page done for the day.
Oh boy.
And so what we found is he worked really well with needing incentives. So I want to put together programs and things that
Mhm.
way when people are diligent, they are rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
In life, if you're diligent at your work, you get rewarded with raises, promotions, more responsibilities, more stabilities. Exactly. If you do not, have those things, you're rewarded with instability and a lack of a job and no money and no trust in exactly.
Cool.
So I'm just trying to teach them, hey, you can have blessing. You don't have to just maintain the status quo.
Mhm.
And so we will be doing field trips this year. We do a yearly field trip down to watch the Iowa Cubs play in the springtime, kind of as like a sign off for the kids. Hey, this is the last field trip of the year. I'm really looking forward to that.
And, just for those that are listening out there, not the Chicago Cubs, it's the Iowa Cubs.
That's why I said Iowa Cubs. It's
we're huge St. Louis fans.
Definitely, I'm a huge St. Louis fan, but the closest team is the Iowa Cubs.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but it sounds like it sounds like it's going to be a blast, and it sounds like you got everything set up right, and hopefully it'll run with smoothly for you.
I'm hoping so. We shall see. But I'm really excited about it. It's been taking up a lot of my attention, but there's a lot of things that I need to get accomplished during the school year.
Yeah.
For the broadcast, for the podcast, for
Mhm.
the live stream. I got a lot of things we got doing there. I am still working on my dad's notes to convert them into devotional for people. We'll upload it to the website as a daily devotional. Yeah, I'm really excited about that too. That's something I have been working on. But it takes me about 2 hours per day because my dad formats his messages as bullet points and illustrations. Hey, tell this story. Hey, tell that story. And so I have to take it all apart and rewrite it in story form.
To give a little bit of connection and meat to it.
Exactly. And so that's something we're doing as well. But with all that being said, guys, we are already 20 minutes into the podcast. We haven't talked about anything spiritual. We just talked about things that's going on in our world. I do want to share with you guys a short thought, and then I'm on a tight schedule today. I gotta get out of here, but I do want to share with you guys one quick thought, and that is this: the other day, I was thinking about some things. I was pondering, some things, and so I was sitting there and I was chewing on different things, and I keep saying the word things. I feel weird. I've been chewing on this idea of anger. How do you get over anger? How do you get over hate? How do you get over depression? How do you get over anxiety?
Which thing's really hard.
Exactly. I've been preaching a lot on these things, but it seems like even though I've been sharing with people
Mhm.
truth and how to avoid them, how to go through them, how to overcome them, you have three choices. You can avoid, you can go through, or you can, lose in there, or you can go through and overcome. And so I've been trying to teach people how to do that. And I'm trying to teach them how to succeed. And it seems like those tests keep coming up, and people are not letting the rubber hit the road. They're just kind of letting the rubber hit the road, come to a screeching halt, and throw them through the windshield. And I'm trying to help people avoid those things, and it can be very disappointing, disheartening, discouraging, whatever you want to say. But the reality is, I'm just kind of, I'm supposed to be God's vessel, and so I was chewing
Mhm.
on these things, how best to package, this truth, and I have been trying to find a correlation between them. And I was thinking about this the other day, and all of a sudden one word came to mind. I could not think of an answer of how to overcome these things. And God spoke to my heart as loud as, a train horn when you're standing next to it.
Yeah.
And one word, and it was submission.
Ooh.
The only way to overcome these trials, the only way to get out from the anger is to submit. Submit to what? Submit to yourself? No, submit to God. The Bible says, submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil, and he shall flee from thee.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
so often people allow the devil to manifest in their emotions, in their
That just doesn't
mindset.
apply to anger or depression or frustration. That can apply to almost anything.
Well, of course, yes, but I'm trying to point out that specifically these things that people
Mhm.
do struggle with this idea of control, the idea of anger, the idea of being slighted or shorted.
Mm-hmm.
The way to avoid these things, the way to get to overcome them, is through submission.
Absolutely. You're
That's
100%
the
right.
only way, is submit. Submit yourselves therefore to God. And that's a whole lot easier said than done, especially when you're in the midst of trials. I remember one time I was dealing with a problem personally,
Mm-hmm.
and I was really worried, really broken, really concerned. I was at the point, I was at the end of my rope. I was just thinking, man, it'd be better to be dead than go through this.
Yeah.
And I think we all get to those points from time to time, but I got to that and I was like, man, I just would rather be dead than be down these roads and do anything to get out of this problem. I think we've all been in those positions. We all get there. But I was there, and it dawned on me the only thing I can do to avoid these things, the only way I can get out, is going to be through submission. And so what I did is I come to God and say, God, I need to submit to you, and I'm going to go ahead and give you the power in this situation. I'm going to go ahead and let you be in control, and I'm going to just let you be. And I had to choose that. And even though I may not have felt that way on the inside, I may not have felt the change, I had to choose a change.
Mm.
So, but that's just a word of the wise to you. I hope you guys take that and use it. I hope it's a blessing to you.
It's a good thought.
Yeah, definitely. I'd really enjoy that. So, but anyway, guys, that's all I got for you today. Dusty, got anything else?
Nope. It's good to be back and it's good talking with y'all. I hope we can hear from you in the future. And I hope that your weekend, wherever you're at, goes well for you.
Absolutely. Well, guys, like I said, this has been a production of the Calvary Baptist Church. If you guys ever have any questions, or if you guys have anything you want to share with us, testimony, prayer request, have a question you want answered, feel free to reach out to us through bytheblood.org, or you can do that through our podcast. You usually have a message on the podcast.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Exactly. Go through the app, Water from the Rock. You can find it on Google Play Store or iOS.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what's going to do for us today. Remember, guys, the Lord loves you. Have a great day.